Hey folks, welcome to Kinlaig, and I'm going to do a little bit of a map to a little bit of a first look, a little bit of a first impressions and second thoughts video. And I've not really looked around the map a whole lot. I've had access to the DLC for now about 4 hours. I'm recording this on Friday afternoon. My job got in the way of my early access to the DLC, and I've really been focused on testing some other stuff. So my first thoughts when I loaded in here are, wow, actually, this looks really quite cool. Giants have done quite a good job of recreating something that looks a lot more like a UK map. And why have I said first look, second thoughts? And I was kind of looking around, and it's like you start in with this view, and it's like, wow, it really does look quite cool. It kind of looks like a mod map, and I'm saying that as praise because generally mod maps look better. And then you start to wander around, and for me, the colours don't look quite right. It was when I got to about here, and looking over towards this shed, the reds just don't look quite right to me. And the colours of so this is a silage clamp. This is very cool. You know, it's like we've got a decent covered silage clamp on the map. It's a nice looking farm that we've got here. But yeah, the colours just don't look kind of right. Now, I have seen a few people saying that the colours as part of patch 1.4 don't look quite right. So maybe it's just that. But yeah. So my kind of first impressions were, wow, this looks really cool. And then my second thoughts were, the colours look a little bit off. Now, that said, it is a nice looking map. So, and this is cool. I like this. I've not really looked around a lot of the map yet. I've been focused on, and you will see probably not too long after this video, a video looking at onions, and looking at the detail of onions, and doing a bunch of testing for that. So we've got a nice field of hairy cows down here. We like the hairy cows. They look very cool. Nice addition to the game. And I kind of like that when you start up, even if you don't own the farm, I don't own any of the land at the moment, the field has the hairy cows in it. It adds a bit of life to the map. It's very cool. And we'll have a bit of a fly around in a minute, a bit of a look around the map. We'll explore some of the stuff that's on the map. And it does feel, from the little bit that I've looked at, a lot like town in the UK, you know, and you got to expect, you know, they've got the signs right. The house looks pretty good, and seeing the bog standard characters kind of annoys me. I wish we could turn these off, and because it's a DLC map, we can't even go into Giants Editor and get rid of them. But something just feels a little bit off about the colours to me. That could just be me and being picky. I don't know. You can let me know what you think in the comments. Maybe I'm being overly fussy, I don't know. Anyway, we're going to put on flight mode because we can. And we're going to put on a little bit of super speed. And we're going to head down to the store because the store is very cool. I thought this was a very nicely done addition. Kilted pistons. It's got a really nice interior that you can go into. But if we turn super speed and flight mode back off, you know, we've got a nice interior of the store that you can walk around. It's like an actual shop. Yeah, I thought this was cool. There's obviously a work area in there. That that I thought was good. While we're here, let's pick up a vehicle, and because we're in the UK, we are obviously going to drive around in a Skoda. We'll get the RS because, you know, we've got a bit of style. We'll get it in red. Because just because we're a farmer in the UK, it doesn't mean we have to drive around in a Land Rover, because not all of them drive Land Rovers. That sounds quite fruity, doesn't it? Anyway, where do we should drive on the correct side of the road, being the left, even though we are sitting on the wrong side of the car. So let's have a quick look at the old PDA, shall we? So we are sat here in the middle. The farm we were at is over here on the bottom left hand side. And we've got, you know, quite a mixture of areas. If you want a really detailed map, so this is not going to be it. This is just me having a bit of a look around and a bit of an explore, really, and giving you my first thoughts. We'll have a little bit of a look at some of the equipment. So we've got the animal dealer there. It's nice that they've built a new animal dealer. Let's swing in here and have a little bit of a look, shall we? It looks like we have... let's zoom in. So we've got a manure and slurry buy point there. We've got a pig food buy point, which is quite nice, and the animal dealer, and we've got the animal dealer lady. So yep, and a crash. First crash of the day. Pretty cool. That is a nice outfit. That kind of fits with the area, I think. We've got Kinlaig Castle, Kinlaig Train Station, Industrial Park, and Harbour. Let's see if we can follow the signs towards the harbour, shall we? Welcome to Kinlaig. Traffic lights, we like that. I could imagine this being very much like driving into any kind of coastal town in the UK with how it looks. Parking up, getting an ice cream. We've got a bunch of stores, cafe and tea, an adventure place, tractors and harvesters. What's that? Cafe sandwich place. Yep. Bins and recycling, definitely. Yeah, this feels pretty good. This feels pretty darn like it should. We've got Alistair over there. Oh, I'm a poet and I didn't know it. So I was going to do a little bit of a video on his release blog, if only because I was expecting people to do a big thing about his name, and Alistair. And Giants kind of dropped the ball on that one because it's Alistair, or is it Alistair? Anyway, so over here we've got a thing. Fish market. And I think down here somewhere we've got the boat buy point. I was struggling to find this for so long, and I watched DJ Go Ham's video. So we've got the two boats. We've got the cargo vessel, we've got the sport boat. And I'm kind of keen to have a little play with these guys. So I have been very anti Giants bringing boats into the game. My view is, if you want to do boating, you play a boating game. So let's see how boating is in the game, shall we? Now you may or may not know, I grew up around boats, so I've spent a fair bit of time in boats. So, yeah. I guess we'll see how boats behave. Now, I have seen in the partner Discord some problems with boats, and I think Giants are working on that, so that's good. Yep, that doesn't seem to be reversed, does it? Brake seems to be reverse. Okay, so something a little bit screwy there. But let's try and dock our little boat. Then we'll jump back in the Skoda. And it'd be nice if we had independent throttle on the engines. You know? Wouldn't mind that. Wouldn't mind that at all. Okay. And yeah, then that happens. Apparently. So, obviously, maybe not obviously, maybe you're not aware, there is fishing as part of the DLC. I've not actually looked at it in detail. We have a fishing rod. I'm not going to do any fishing at the moment. What we will do is put back on flight mode and some player speed, and just cover a little bit more of the map. So this area looks pretty good. Again, I think like the blues to me look slightly off, and like the color of the fishing nets looks slightly off. The darker colors look okay. It's the bright color, like the color of the ISO containers looks slightly off, and the crane and that kind of thing. But the layout of stuff looks really cool. I mean, that is 100% a valid layout for a UK town. I was just watching a little bit of FSG's map tour, and he had a Google Maps image of a town in Scotland that it's potentially based on. That I think Yoss had spotted. So yep. But yeah, this looks like a town. You know, coastal town in, you know, I'd say Scotland and or somewhere like Wales probably. Lots of fields scattered around. Car parks. Lots of productions and things littered around the map. Lots of sell points. Lots of stuff to do on the map. Obviously, it's a Giants map, so lots and lots of things. Lots and lots of things. Electric charging stations. We've got the train built into the map. So we've got the farm here that we looked at, and I have heard it said that there's another potential farm spot. So, I mean, that wouldn't be a bad little starter spot, would it? I guess if we can buy it. Which appears we can't, so not so good. What else have we got up here? That looks like, so that's one of the little fishery spot there. That looks like a farm to me, as the game saves. Yeah. So we've got another farm there. That's only 100 grand as well. Let's buy that. So that's a nice little cow farm, actually. I like that. that's probably a good start, because the other farm is really expensive. Actually, the other farm is like not like, actually is over £500,000. So that's quite a nice little starter farm. Is that a bunker silo as well? Yeah. So you've got a little bunker silo, little cow shed. It's like a silo there. So you're pretty well set with that farm, actually. And quite a nice location. I like that farm. I like that farm. So that's pretty cool. Just looking this little spot up here as well might not be awful for getting going if, you know, you got a little bit of land there cut into the field. There is some, obviously some forestry areas on the map as well. Just trying to look at which ones are buyable. So the buyable areas are not huge. That's quite a big one, but quite expensive. Yeah. But there is some forestry on the map. But I guess if you're playing this one, you're more into the farming and maybe the fish farming. So what have we got down here? Sawmill there. BGA. Guessing a very expensive BGA. But hey, if you want a BGA, you should download the mini BGA. Made by moi. What's this guy we've got here? Little quarry. Yeah. So that's a little whiz around the map. I'm guessing this is map boundary. Yeah. What have we got stuck on map boundary? We did get stuck on map boundary. So got a little Harry Potter moment here. If you want to do, if you want to recreate that, you're a wizard, Harry. With the old viaduct and the train and things. Kind of cool. But yep. There's a viaduct. No, it's not really a viaduct, is it? It's a bridge. I do like this little farm. Do like that. So that's the map. Let's have a quick look at what equipment's included with the DLC. Obviously, there's the 2 boats, which are separate because they don't show up here. We've got the 3 Can-Ams with snow ploughing. I guess we get a lot of snow in Scotland. I'm pretty sure you won't see a setup like this in Scotland. Someone's gonna tell me I'm wrong, because they will. But you know, chainsaw holder's quite cool. I like that. That's kind of funky. So we've got that one, which is 50 horsepower, does 37 miles an hour. That one's got a bit more grunt, does the same speed. We've got the side-by-side for our American friends. We've got the Skoda, which we've just been driving around in. We've got one of the most important vehicles that comes with the DLC, the old Fast Track. So 130 to, I think, goes up to 150 horsepower. Yeah. Have been playing around with this a little bit. It's got a front attacher option. This is going to fast become one of my favourite tractors in the game. It's only £64,000. It's awesome. We love an old JCB here. Yep. We've got a Deutz. We love a Deutz as well here. So, yep. And we've got the Warrior version of that as well. Got the 4000 series Icon. We've got the 8000 series Icon, and we've got a T8000. So from New Holland. Nice range of tractors and horsepowers, because they're all the way up to, that's me dropping my controller, all the way up to 350 horsepower. Yep. We've got the planter for the onions. You'll be seeing that in a second video coming up. We've got another planter, couple of planters, seed box for the planters, Vaderstad seeder and box. We do love a Vaderstad here. Agri-spread, lime and fert spreader, bunning manure spreader. We've got a bunch of bunning kit there, some nice bunning trailers. Doman sprayer, in fact 2 Doman sprayers. That's a nice looking bit of kit. And the self-propelled version, Polaris onion harvesters. Onions are an interesting question, well asked, and the Grimmy Veritron potato harvester and onion lifter, I guess. Class Roland baler and 2 Class Roland balers there, and some fish food and a fishing rod. And then obviously, again, maybe not obviously, I shouldn't say obviously because you may not know. So we'll go into factories, and if we scroll down, scroll too far, we've got an onion boxer, not the punching kind, the putting in boxes kind. And there is an entire new category for aquaculture. So this is an offshore fish farm. We'll come back to that. So we've got a little fishing pond. Haven't had a play with that. I haven't had a play with any of the aquaculture. And then a young fish breeding facility. And then we've got the offshore aquaculture, which needs to be placed in water. I've not looked at any of that yet in terms of how it works at all. So my time has been somewhat limited. And I was curious about the onions. So that's a very quick first impressions, second thoughts. I really like this farm. I think overall the map looks really nice. The equipment that's included looks really nice. If you're interested in pre-ordering this ahead of its release on Tuesday, there will be a link down below or a QR code on the screen shortly. If you want to, you can pre-download it now ahead of release, I believe, if you've got it from Giant's website, to avoid the rush and the slow download on release day. Yes, their servers are very slow to download it, but you can pre-download stuff and then it'll be available to activate on release day, a bit like you can on console and stuff. Yeah, that's it. Anything you're curious about, stick a question down below, and see you next time.